Day 31, The Relapse. So, did some record digging, got some awesome stuff. I got these records, which I will show you in just un momento. Something really awesome happened today, and also my one of my favorite record stores in Pittsburgh, they're having sort of this giveaway weekend. They do this every once in a while, but we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to do this in another video. But I will show you. Anybody who bought records basically got a box of that's a box of 45s right there, filled to the top. There's my hand, so you can get an idea how many there are. So what I think we'll do is I'm going to do a separate video and kind of talk about what's in here. We'll do it as a mystery box. I haven't even looked into it. I just took a box. It was one of the biggest boxes that they had. So we'll see what's in it. So let's get into the vinyl, shall we? So here's the first one. This is Time to Take Off. Dave, Dee, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Titch. So this was actually kind of their last album, which Time to Take Off is kind of a funny title for an album that is your last album, your swan song, I guess. So this one is on the Imperial label. He also had stuff on the Fontana label too, so that's really cool. One band I've listened to a lot. You know, they've kind of have been put to shopping music now, I guess, as you could say. You don't really hear too much about, you know, the as career and whatnot, or sort of as an artist that is, you know, people are really going to go seek out. But I like them. I think it's a real, the music that they play is just a real, very listenable style of music, and that's going to be Three Dog Night. So here is Suitable for Framing. This was actually a German pressing, which I had a chance to get like a white label promo or go with this one, and I went with this one because it was in immaculate shape. Very nice. I believe that's on the EMI label. And also, let me just kind of skip through here, and I'll kind of keep it kind of together. This one is also a really cool record. It's called Pre-Dog Night. It's Danny Hutton, and he was one of the singers in Three Dog Night. It's a DJ copy. It's actually on the yellow. I have it on the player there, but it's a yellow label, the yellow MGM promo label. And the big one on here is Roses and Rainbows, which was sort of a single. Anybody that got the Where the Action Is, sort of the LA Nuggets box set. Sorry about the blinking there. Holy crap. I'll stop the strobing. That song is on there. Here's another one. This is Siegling and Larrabee. Not really too sure about it. I listened to it, but it sounded really cool. It's on a label called Look, and it sort of sounds like kind of like some psych pop kind of stuff. So pretty excited about this one. It's fairly cheap. Here's something else that looks pretty cool. It's called Time to Get It Together. It's by the Country Coalition. So this is from 1970. There's a woman in the group there. So they're sort of like a, from what I listened to, kind of like a Smith type of band. So it seemed pretty cool. I liked it. Sounded good. So two guilty pleasures. I got Juiciest Fruit Gum, which is the greatest hits of the best of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. So I always say 910 Fruit Gum for some reason. 1910, I always say it wrong, but something really cool. This is sort of a guilty pleasure. That stuff on Buddha. Also this one too. It's one by the Ohio Express, Mercy. Really, there's Gimme Gimme is on here, which, my God, sometimes I kind of wonder why I even buy these, because stuff was so nonsensical. But at the same time, it's every once in a while it's nice to kind of listen to these. So there's Malo's first one. I was kind of excited about that. I know Sequoia Flame and Nathan Morales were kind of talking. I don't know about this one, if they were talking about this one, but George Santana was in it, who was Carlos Santana's brother. So this is actually the one with the big hit that they had. I forget what it's called. Suavecito, I think is what it was. I think that was their big hit. So this is sort of a regional thing. This is called The Light Company. This record is actually called Carry On, but it's not really on anything on the album where it says that. But from looking at it on the internet, that's what it was. This band was from Dayton, Ohio, and pretty interesting stuff. There's there's 2 Simon and Garfunkel covers. The band, I guess, kind of takes that sort of lean. It's kind of acoustic kind of music. I mean, there's no fuzz guitars or anything like that, but a nice little curio. I like it. They do a cover of Abraham, Martin, and John, and there are some protest songs about Vietnam and things like that, where it's just they're bringing it, saying that Kent State and things like that. So if I'd have to date it, I'd probably say it was maybe like 70, 71, something like that. I think that's the Kent State. I think it was 1970. I want to say. I'll have to look at my history books because I have forgotten. Now these were all 50 cents, so got some cool ones here. Here is Gentle on My Mind, Glen Campbell. This, of course, has Catch the Wind and It's Over, and, of course, Gentle on My Mind, which was a big hit for Glen Campbell on stereo. 50 cents for this. I could not pass it up. Sort of a guilty pleasure there. The Impressions' Greatest Hits, Keep on Pushing, lots of good stuff on there. Of course, this is what Curtis Mayfield, the group he was in before he started his own little solo career. Definitely speaks for itself. Here's one I did not have. Very excited to get this. Dance to the Music, Sly and the Family Stone. It's in pretty good shape. Had the shrink on and I actually took it off, so it wasn't not too much ring wear. A little bit, but not too much. Now this one, here's a story. So I got this record today, and it's just one of those things that I guess I could preface this story. When I was either 17 or 18 years old, there was a Goodwill in my hometown that they had just built. So it was kind of like, hey, there's a new thrift store. We had 2 Salvation Armies on either side of town, and the one has now closed. There's just the one. But at that time, I used to go through the records, and I used to just get just amazing stuff. Most of it which I have traded for better things, but at the time, I know, for instance, I found like a Bob Marley Exodus 12-inch single, and I sold it on eBay along with Exodus, and I think I got $50 for it, which for me, selling a record that I paid 50 cents for back then, kind of mind-blowing. But I go in there one day, and this is the same Goodwill where there was we're only in it for the money, and I didn't jump on it because I had no idea what it was. I just sort of looked at the cover and was like, okay, and then kind of put it back. So it's just kind of one of those things where, I think maybe it was the wrong record in there, but now that I'm thinking about it, Verve and MGM, did they put it on a yellow? Because it might even have been a promo. I don't know. I'm not sure what the label was. Definitely yellow, which the Verve ones are usually black or blue. But it might have been a promo. I think it may have been. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think about it because it's one of those moments that, somebody probably walked out of there with a ridiculous holy grail. Anyhow, so I'm in there one day, and I want to say it was like there was a big collection that somebody had just brought in there, and I'm going through the records, and there was some good stuff, and I came across this, which is the Beach Boys white album. No, just kidding. No, it's just a white cover. It just said Beach Boys on it. So I was like, okay, well, what's inside? So I pull out the record, and it's a mono copy of Pet Sounds. And at first I was like, you know what? I don't want to get it. It doesn't have the cover or anything like that. It's just the record. The record was in pretty good shape. So obviously, since I have it in my hand, yes, I did buy it. It was 50 cents. And I kind of thought to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to find Pet Sounds one of these days. I'll find a better cover, or I'll find something that actually has the cover on it, and I'll buy it and I'll replace it. That will be my cover. Well, honestly, I've come across copies of Pet Sounds, not that many. I mean, maybe like 1 or 2, and but they're either like $30 or something like that for original pressings and whatnot, and I don't want to buy it You know what I mean? I don't really want to buy a near mint copy just for the cover. You know what I mean? Because it's like I already have the record. So ideally, what I want to do is I want to find a crappy record and a good sleeve. So lo and behold, as things may find, oh, there it is. I actually found a mono copy, which is what my record is, and just an amazing, cover's in really good shape. No seam splits down at the bottom, nothing at the top. It's, you know what I mean? It is almost a perfect copy. The you know, the spine is just right where it needs to be. You can see that. So it took me 10 years to achieve this. So in a way, I was telling my wife about it today, and I said, you know, 10 years that I've been on a quest to find this cover. Now, the record that was in there, I mean, it's okay, it's not that bad, so I figure, hey, somebody's going to want to buy this one. You know, I'll pass that on to them. But I just kind of like sat, and I just sat in the chair for a moment. I just sat here when I was like putting together, you know, the good copy of it. And I just thought to myself, I was like, you know, it really is amazing. You know, I've spent 10 years trying to achieve this moment, and I was sitting there and I was like, and here I am, I'm sitting here. I remember the day that I bought that, the day I was in Goodwill, and I thought to myself, you know, I'll eventually find it. It'll eventually come, and I'll find it. So I mean, this year has been amazing for me for records. It really has. I mean, I've crossed stuff that has been on my Holy Grail list for years. I'm talking years, this included. This has been on here for 10 years. No joke. I've found it. You know what I mean? I've come across it. So it's just kind of like one of those things. If you have something on your list, you know, I'm sure some of the seasoned veterans here on the vinyl community, you know, it's going to show up eventually. You'll find it eventually. You'll come across it if you look hard enough for it. And sure enough, I did. Now, these weren't at a record store. This was actually at a thrift, or kind of like a consignment shop, privately owned sort of thrift store thing. So, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I walked in, and that was the record that was on top. Like, it was like, I went in, I said, do you have any records? And the lady said, oh yeah, they're right around the back. And I went, and there it was, just right on top. So happy to find this. It's just like, you know, everything has come to fruition, I guess. But I also got this. There's a speaker back here that I got that kind of added it to my, you know, my setup. It was actually like a Bose speaker. I was in there and I was like, well, how much for your speaker? And I was like, I think there's two. I was like, do you have the other one? She's like, no, there's just that one. And I was like, oh, really? Because there should be a set. And it's a Bose Everywhere Sound. It's a 6.2 speaker, 6.2 with all the different, speaker sets and whatnot. But it was $35, and I put on Pet Sounds. I was like, oh my god, I was hearing things that I had never heard before on that album. I kid you not. It was like I was hearing the range on it is so good, and it really comes down to if you have a good set. And it was stuff. I mean, I've listened to this album forever. I've listened to this album, so I can't tell you how many times I've listened to this album. And I was discovering something new today. I'm still kind of choked up about it, but there you go. Back in the saddle again, vinyl finds. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll get into the mystery box. We'll have to do it on another video. This is already 15 minutes. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you around.